Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, human being, American, and YouTuber Ronin, and I would like to welcome you to tonight's special episode of Live from Sparkwood in 21. This series chronicles the cult classic television series Twin Peaks and its sequel, 25 years later sequel, The Return, created by the late, great, legendary David Lynch, along with Mark Frost. And tonight, we are going to be watching the first half of the Spicediver edit of David Lynch's 1984 film adaptation of Dune. Joining me tonight are super fans Last Call Troy Pacelli.
Hello, hello.
Netters Network.
Good evening.
And Aged Boomer.
The spice must flow.
I see what you did
Sorry,
there. I see
so
what
bad.
you did
I
there.
apologize.
Like to say hello to everyone currently joining us on X. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. I want to say hello to the people who've joined us here in the live chat. Channel member JPRPH1, FKHC 2005, sometimes known as Tim, drop me a $1 super chat. Thank you. Emoji Queen, Lady Mist. Creator of the 10-word review, host of Films with Friends, where I will be appearing on the 13th and the 20th. Big Al Presents. Yes, justice for Flappy, indeed. The Tired Midnight Vlogger, the voice, not the choice, well, the choice and the voice of Northern Oklahoma, Curtis Selby.
Let's hope more make that choice.
Indeed. JPRPH20 channel for 14 months. The spice must flow. All right.
Unless you get boarded by the Empire, then you just have to dump it.
Damn. Our resident Klingon, Mark Malnikoff. Qapla'. All right. Let's see. Scrolling down. Feel free to think. I think we can tell what's on his mind.
Boobs.
All right. And Corey has joined us. Wilkie's Movies and Music. Corey joined me along with Sin's Corner for our mystery movie night review of The Life of Chuck. Please feel free to check that out later on tonight if you missed it. All right. Well, here we are. We have covered Eraserhead, The Elephant Man, Wild at Heart, Industrial Symphony No. 1. And now we have also Blue Velvet last week. And by the way, I do want to thank everyone who watched last week's broadcast, making it our second most watched episode so far.
Wow,
so
that's great.
Thank you all very much for watching and taking the time out. And I hope that we picked up a few new people with us. Looks like maybe we have. So, right, we are on to, and hello to Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips, of course. Good to see you, sir.
Hey. I will say, as much as I love Blue Velvet, I had forgotten how disturbing that movie is. And yesterday, Netter and I had to go to the dentist, and there was talk. We had to make an appointment because we both have to go back to get a couple cavities taken care of. And the doctor offered Netter nitrous. And on the way home, I was talking, and Well, you know what quote I said on the way home. And she's like, oh, God, oh, God.
Very funny.
Yeah, no, I'm like, yeah, I've never used nitrous before. And I don't think after seeing that movie I ever could.
I
Did
feel
you
like we
say
have to
hello? Sorry.
go.
Did you say hello to Feel Free to Think?
Yes, we did.
Okay, I missed that one.
Okay. Fair enough.
And hello to Enigma Severus. All right.
I should have thought of this
Maybe.
last week, but I wonder
What's
what
that?
Frank's. You remember the old books Mad Libs where you would fill in the words?
Sure. Yeah.
I wonder Frank would just use different variations of the F word for each thing. You know?
Yeah. You're absolutely
Like
right.
nouns, verbs, or whatever. Yes.
Baby wants to.
Yeah.
Blank.
Boogie like a boogie
Yeah.
woogie choo choo.
Yeah, well, that would be better. I also realized, and it wasn't until literally just getting ready for tonight's stream, I realized that we actually have access to an extended version of Blue Velvet that we could have watched that I could have done, and I'd forgotten. I forgot it existed until just recently. So what are you gonna do?
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think it had gotten a DVD release many years ago. I don't know if Arrow re-released it recently, but yeah.
Speaking of which, tonight's movie, the Spicediver edit, has also received a Blu-ray release. An official Blu-ray release.
Interesting.
So that might be why it was pulled down off of YouTube, I suppose.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
But that's okay because we won't be watching on YouTube tonight. We will be watching on Cosme. Link should be pinned to the top of the chat wherever you happen to be.
And I'm just double checking to make sure.
Just
Yes,
double
they
checking
are
to
all
make sure
there.
you're there. Yeah, exactly.
I suppose it would help if I actually clicked on that link so that I can watch the movie myself.
Yep.
Cool.
Kazumi. Yes, Enigma. And we're watching the first half, so it does kind of cut off a little bit abrupt. But if there's anybody here who doesn't know the story of Dune by this point or has never seen any version of this movie before, you might consider this kind of a cliffhanger.
And this is a good jumping off point for those of you who may be new to the world of Dune, because this is how I became introduced to Dune, was through this film. And
the original version, right?
Yeah. The original, the theatrical edition, which is about 40 minutes shorter than this one is. And
did you see it in the theater? And did you receive the handout? The handout with the glossary of terms?
I don't recall if they had the handout, but I did see it in theaters. Saw it at the late great Fox Theater, and trust me, if you know the Fox Theater, Dune is right up its alley, because this was the go-to place for like a midnight type movie. They showed Rocky Horror Picture Show. I saw my first R-rated movie there, DC Cab. Not the first R-rated movie I saw, but the first R-rated movie I saw in a theater.
You saw in a theater. Real quick, I want to let Enigma know,
please.
Don't be confused. This is not the Denis Villeneuve film. This is the David Lynch film, and we have ourselves split it into two, just to accommodate the runtime, so we can get to Blake 7. That's just so you're not confused.
Right. Hello to Lizzie Armstrong.
Sorry,
Darth Plato has also joined us. So we've got
Dune is a major inspiration for Star Wars. Yes. Well, and I was purposely making that joke about the spice must flow. Unless you get boarded by the Empire, then you got to dump the spice, and Jabba the Hutt will come after your ship.
And you have to make the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get the party started.
Get it started.
Unfortunately, we will not be getting a Pink Floyd soundtrack for this version either.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Damn it. Because when I saw the trailer for the Denis Villeneuve version, and Eclipse was in there, and I'm like, yes, we're finally going to get Pink Floyd and Dune, and no, it was just in the trailer. Damn it. Because the original director, the original intended director of this version of Dune was Alejandro Jodorowsky, and he wanted Pink Floyd to do the soundtrack, but
Gotcha.
instead, we got David Lynch and Toto. So okay. Fair enough.
Honestly, I am not. I'm not upset. Both are good choices.
Indeed.
And Lizzie Armstrong, I see you there in the Cosme. I am so glad you are here. Oh, you're also here on the YouTube as well. Okay, good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to say, if she's not in YouTube as well, she isn't hearing me saying this, so that would be a whoops.
Alrighty.
All right.
Well, yeah, I think we've filled long enough. Let us therefore hit it.
Okay. You want me to count us down?
Oh, okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
And we have space folding.
The alternate edition redo.
Yep.
So this is not the other alternate cut. It's a different cut.
Right. This is an update from the original alternate cut. Exactly.
Yeah, that one I've seen.
Redo is my third and final recording of the David Lynch 1984 adaptation. My original alternative edition.
Yes. Okay. That's one I think I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or one of them. I don't know.
So again, this is a fan trying to get us as close as he could to a director's cut, so to speak.
Yeah, and really closer to what David Lynch intended.
Thou shalt not make a machine in the likeness of a human mind.
Yeah, well, tell that to Silicon Valley.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, I mean they're actually making computers that are starting to do better work than some no brain peoples.
All I know is we were talking a couple weeks ago. They were trying to map. Oh,
yes, I wish we had gotten way more of Virginia Madsen. Just saying.
Yeah, her
Also
character
make sure
really
you
does
get-
get short shrifted in this.
True. What were you saying, Nutter?
Also make sure that you make the rounds on our 4 channels and hit that thumbs up, show the love.
Mm-hmm.
no, Curtis Selby. She just looks like she's AI generated because she's perfect. Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You are absolutely correct. I mean, I don't know, man. If I was Kyle MacLachlan and I had to marry Virginia Madsen, but have children with Sean Young, man, that's a situation to be in. Let me tell you.
She would make a great Padme.
Yeah, kind of true. Yeah. Who did the orchestrations for the soundtrack? That wasn't Toto, right?
Brian Eno, I believe.
Wow, good stuff.
Question: Did David Lynch
Uh-huh.
take on this project because he didn't take Return of the Jedi?
Actually, I thought he was up for Empire Strikes Back,
No, it was Jedi.
and he
No,
did not
Jedi.
take Empire. Oh, was it Jedi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, but that he was already committed to this. That's
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Alejandro Jodorowsky was going to direct this at one point, and there's a very good documentary called
Yes.
Jodorowsky's Dune
Wow.
that I highly recommend people watching. That was all about what his take on it was going to be and why it ultimately didn't get made.
Well, you can take that documentary and all the information and feed it into an AI, and you could probably make a new fan film.
All I know is they had a quote in that documentary that says, "Oh, Dune, that's I should read the book someday." You know, like what? I'm like, what?
Wow.
Yeah.
And if anyone is playing the little crown game that's on some of our channels, first, second, third place, I only got 2 people on my channel right now, so you could come in and sweep it.
That's true.
Ah.
That is true.
I wish my eyes were that blue.
I know, right? Well, we can move to a desert planet, and you know, you could become melange saturated.
Or I can get really blue contacts.
Well, that's true.
And of course, after Jodorowsky dropped out, Ridley Scott was at one point going to direct.
Probably would have been a good first movie, and then if he ever did anything else with it, he would have ruined it. I love this soundtrack.
Yeah.
Very exposition heavy, but darn it, it's darn near impossible to tell this story without explaining the world to you.
And of course, that's better than 10 minutes of oil paintings.
True.
Yes.
You're absolutely right about that. And Lizzie, I'm glad to see you're having fun in Cosme. Welcome. We hope to see you here as often as you can make it. I think these watch parties we do are a lot of fun.
Thanks, Enigma.
I think when we did this film before, and I can't remember who guested with us. Was it Tom Connors or Culture Casino? I can't remember. I was saying that the first time I saw this film, it had been hyped in a lot of the teen magazines of the day, like Dynamite and whatnot. I had gotten one of those sci-fi magazines. I can't remember which one it was. That had some promotional shots of Kyle MacLachlan and Sean Young, and looked a little bit spicier, pun intended, than it actually turned out to be.
Yeah, gotta sell it somehow. Now, one thing that I thought was interesting about the Jodorowsky version was that he had like different production designers for each planet.
Oh,
and H.R. Giger was going to do, of course, the Harkonnens, Gidi Prime.
yeah, it makes sense.
So just a reminder, you're going to see a lot of actors that tend to work with David Lynch. So a lot of them, that we will that we've seen in Twin Peaks, of course, which is part of why we're watching this. Jose Ferrer as the Padishah Emperor.
Of course, the father of Miguel Ferrer, who wound up in Twin Peaks.
That's right.
I always like the uniforms.
I did too. I actually used a photo manipulation using those uniforms in one of my role-playing games. I'm a goof.
That's fine. Star Trek uniforms can be all over the place, but I like these.
I do have to say, I found the design of the Bene Gesserit in this film intriguing, but it doesn't really fit my read of them from the book.
Who's closer in your opinion? Which version?
Honestly, I think the closest might be the if I remember, because I have a dim memory. I was going to say the sci-fi series, but the Denis Villeneuve does a pretty decent job. One thing that retroactively kind of bothers me about this version is it implies that the Bene Gesserit can read minds, and that's not what they do.
Here comes my camera. I will go and frack up George Smiley's life now.
Right.
Extra points to anyone who gets that reference.
And this containment unit, of course, was designed by Bruce Wayne, I believe.
Funny.
Interestingly, a lot of the design work here based on the works of H.R. Giger, which I think is probably also true of Batman 89. So this is David Lynch's interpretation of the Guild Navigator. I see a lot of the reuse of the imagery of the child from Eraserhead in this. Maybe some echoes of the Elephant Man. I will also note that if you read the description of the Guild Steersman in the books, this is actually a valid interpretation of that. Yes, thank you for refreshing our memory, Curtis.
Is the Navigator a human?
Yes. Well, they are mutated humans.
Okay.
They are They're highly mutated from saturation in a spice liquor. They literally are breathing the spice melange. It gives them the ability to literally see all futures in front of them so that they can navigate and know what way is the safest way to go. Think Doctor Strange in whatever it was, that last movie. Yeah. Well, when he visits 1,000 different, possible universes, right, and there's only one where they succeed,
Yes.
And again, this is an example of David Lynch putting exposition into his version of the story to give you background that you wouldn't otherwise get. But this is not a scene that happens in the original story, in the original book. And this inference that the guild knows about Paul potentially being the Kwisatz Haderach is all not a story element from the original. Again, this is them. This is Lynch trying to streamline the story. Believe it or not, this is an example of Lynch taking a crazy way out there story and making it more understandable. So the blokes that you see there ushering the guild steersman out, they are in the process of that same mutation. So someday they will look like that.
Mm.
So again, the Bene Gesserit cannot actually read mind. They are very perceptive, however. So they may seem to read mind, but they have sharp hearing and analytical abilities that others don't. What the Reverend Mothers have the ability to remember literally all memories of all their mothers going back to the dawn of time. I just realized that I'm still showing the process. There, that's better. Now I have this in a very high definition, but that's not going to come through on Cosme because of the compression that
I gotcha.
do.
Well,
so the best you could really get on Cosme.
Well, we recommend if you're a fan, maybe go out and look for the Blu-ray.
Yeah, the Blu-ray
Yes.
is good. Yeah. And also, for obvious reasons, they make the characters of Paul and Chani and whatnot older than they're depicted in the books.
So, are there no computers at all in the Dune universe?
No, mentats do the work of that we would ascribe to computers.
Okay, but they're not.
So
computers.
think of it this way: the guild steersmen are like the Nava computers in Star Wars, and the astromech droids. The mentats are like your desktop computers and all of those kinds of things. So here we got Jean-Luc Picard. We've got Al from Quantum Leap. And of course, Freddie Jones, who we just saw in The Elephant Man.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm sorry. I actually do like the whispered internal monologue.
Hmm.
It's uncanny how much Gurney looks just like Aqua Bro.
It's amazing how that bald guy looks just like Captain Picard.
Exactly.
There is something for trained Shakespearean actors in these types of roles, though,
Yes. The corridor crew took the same what do you call it? The same battle from the Denis Villeneuve and used and reproduced this shield
blocks.
effect. And honestly, I thought it was pretty cool.
I like this effect.
I do too. It illustrates the slow movement concept really well.
Huh.
That's a good teacher. I do think he does a great job of portraying someone who is growing up and realizing how serious things are. Well, it was the best Iggy could get me.
Okay, I can't stand that porn stash.
Yeah, I know.
And it looks like a zit on his forehead.
Well, I assume that's
Interestingly, that's supposed to be a mark that shows his conditioning so that he can't betray. So it's very interesting how spoiler for anyone who hasn't already seen this movie, that he's been turned into a traitor.
Hey, Mikey. How you doing?
Hey, Mikey Suze.
And
Good to see you, man.
Nation. How you doing, PJ?
PJ!
Whoa, PJ.
Welcome. The 4.5 hour complete film with the director. Yep.
And written by Judas Booth. Oh my God. And
yeah, that's why we're watching
Yeah.
the Spicediver edit. It's the closest we can get to the David Lynch version. So, in other words, make your fine trap roll.
How many hit points does he have?
Right. Did we say hi to Slasher Fred? This Dune adaptation is the one that nobody ever never talks about, mostly because it was a big flop. Yeah, the marketing was really off. I'm not getting into it tonight because it's not really what we want to talk about, but I could do a whole liquid lunch talking about the poorly conceived toys that they barely put out for this movie.
I was thinking that would make a great name for a bar, Liquid Lunch.
Huh.
I agree. So, but I guess we have to talk about the marketing of this film in order to explain some of the decisions that Lynch was forced to make. And this scene demonstrates it. This weapon, this sound weapon, they wanted a weapon like the Star Wars lightsaber. And I don't know if it was Lynch who came up with it or someone else, but the idea of something, a weapon based on sound rather than light. I think it's kind of brilliant, actually. But this is not a device that actually exists in the book. So when he gets to the line about his name will be a killing word, and you find out that Muad'Dib works with these sound modules, that's not, that's not the interpretation from the book.
So it's like the Shocker, Spider-Man.
Exactly. Yes, Nate. What is it? The Mentat chant or whatever. That's another contrivance of this specific film that doesn't appear in the book itself. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the one that is played by what's his name? Jason Momoa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Aqua Bro plays Duncan Idaho, not Gurney Halleck. Right.
You're thinking of Josh
Mantra,
Brolin.
that's what it's called. Yes, exactly. Josh Brolin is Captain Picard. That's right. Gosh, this is confusing. Right. It is by will alone I set my mind in motion. It is by the juice of Sappho that thoughts acquire speed. The lists acquire stains. The stains become a warning. It is by will alone I set my mind in motion. When I back in the late 90s, a job I was at, I put in a lot of late hours, and I used to get those little 5-hour energy shots, and I would quote that every time I took one.
He was in Das Boot.
Yes, he was. Probably the first time most American audiences had seen him.
Eight years making this movie. Virginia Madsen landed her iconic role as Helen Lynn in the original Candyman. I had forgotten she was in Candyman. That's right. I tend to think of her as the only thing that I liked about the second Highlander film. Another great movie that she was in was Electric Dreams.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of where I first got a crush on her. Yes, Tony Todd. Absolutely. Also played Kern in Star Trek.
Yes, he did.
Worf's younger brother.
Exactly. I don't know if you know this, but long ago in the early 2000s, there was once a Dune. Yeah, we mentioned that a little bit at the beginning, the Dune miniseries that even had a sequel, Children of Dune. I had mentioned that as a pretty faithful interpretation of the way the Bene Gesserit looked. This one, I said I like it. It's very stylized, but this isn't how the Bene Gesserit are described in the book.
And the HBO series seems to be getting some very mixed opinions as well.
The problem, I knew that it was going to have problems because even if they are faithful to the source material, they're drawing from Brian Herbert's books, which aren't good in my opinion.
Here's what I don't understand. It's supposed to take place, what? How many, like, 1,000 years, maybe more from the original Doom movie, yet they have all the same technology.
Yeah.
They have, like, even the screens for that they were using earlier in this.
That is one of the things that Nerd Cookies was kind of talking about. She's like, you would think with thousands of years between them, you'd see bigger differences. She does use that as a reason. She doesn't like the look of the face dancers in the HBO series, but she says, but I suppose you can consider them to be like a proto face dancer. They're going to look very different when Denis Villeneuve gets around to them.
All I know is when they did Star Trek Enterprise, they made things look less tech.
Yeah.
It was taking place before even the original Star Trek, so I don't know why they didn't do that with this Dune series. I don't.
Yeah. You're right. I like the look of the Enterprise bridge. It looked kind of clunky, kind of like almost using closer to modern style technology.
Like modern NASA, yeah. What it would be like if they had finally,
Now, I've seen 3 different film adaptations of this. Jessica bringing Paul to Gaius Helena Mohayim for the Gam Jabbar test. And I think they've all done a decent job of showing the mother's concern. They're all faithful interpretations of the book, in my opinion. But I always felt like one underlying thought she should have been having that would have come across in the book, or like in this version in a voiceover whisper or whatever, would be she should have been going through in her mind all the training she had given him. If she trained him well enough, she shouldn't have to worry about him passing the Gam Jabbar test, which, as it turns out, she did. But she doesn't think of that. To quote Mike Nelson in Riff Tracks, I am the Kwisatz Haderach Flatfoot. So Mikey says that, the only Sir Patrick has been Picard in Star Trek, Gurney Halleck in this great film, and even played a gay man in Jeremy. Plus, he was a villain against Mel Gibson in Conspiracy Theory. He also played a gay man in, oh God, what was that movie where he plays one of the pink berets? I don't know. Netter would remember possibly.
What's the question?
Patrick Stewart played a gay guy.
Oh yeah.
What was that movie?
He is a member of the Pink Berets.
Right.
Give me just a second.
Was it like In and Out or something?
Yeah.
How old was Stewart when this movie came out?
I don't know. He always looked old, didn't he?
Yes. I might say distinguished, maybe.
Jeffrey.
Oh, okay. So it was the one that Mike was just saying. Okay.
Oh, Jeffrey.
Or a replicant.
Right. Oh, yeah. No, I get that, Nate. She also knows that Helena Mohayim wants him dead because she was supposed to bear a daughter, not a son. A daughter that they could have married off to Fade Routha. What's in the box? Pain.
Ew.
I do think that's an interesting visual interpretation of what's happening to him. If I remember correctly in the book, it describes this feeling of burning and him literally picturing the skin burning off. And then he intellectually realizes if that were really happening, he would no longer feel it because the nerve endings would burn away.
Well, I'm not like everybody else.
Right. Fade Routha, played by Sting, my favorite villain in films. Sting also is my all-time favorite male musician. There you go. Yeah, he is good.
Yes.
Heal.
The real Stanley Cup. I like that.
Yeah.
The biggest concern for the Bene Gesserit is if he is the Kwisatz Haderach, he's coming about a generation earlier than they anticipated, and they're kind of not ready. They may not be able to control him. They expect to be able to control the Kwisatz Haderach.
Well, they're talking about trying to control a god.
Exactly.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, but keep in mind what the Bene Gesserit do. They literally, their whole sect is all about controlling men. Through manipulation, through sexuality, through insight that is almost supernatural.
Well, occasionally.
Again,
I've seen you all do it. I'm getting used to it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is, again, a great shorthand for her realizing she may not be able to control him. Also, as I recall from the books, Jessica taught him the voice on her own. It was not Helena Mohiam's desire that he learn the voice. I like it. Every little thing she does is magic. Burn her!
Weirdo.
The seal.
Yeah.
Wait, why am I German?
Again, this is very Giger-esque, imagery. But you see the smoke coming out of the mouth? It also makes me think of season 3 of Twin Peaks, the David Bowie teapot or whatever it is. The juice the stain become a warning. It is by will alone I set my mind in motion.
Is that Brad Dourif?
Yes, it is.
Is he the character that Dennis Desmalkian was cast as in the Villeneuve movies?
Yes.
Interesting pick for both actors for that part.
Again, I think this is an interesting interpretation of Giedi Prime. This heavily industrialized planet. Villeneuve does it differently, but still conveys the same idea. I think this is much more David Lynch's aesthetic, right? With the sparking electric circuitry and the almost steampunkish kind of, atmosphere. You can almost see some of the setting of Eraserhead here.
Ugh.
Ew. This is so disgusting.
Yeah, and this is unique to this interpretation. They were being a little on the nose with the idea that he was it's clearly supposed to be some sort of a futuristic venereal disease.
Must we?
Okay. Jack Nance, of course, plays Pete Martell in Twin Peaks. Now, see, this is where David Lynch's interpretation of the Harkonnens is very faithful to the books, and Denis Villeneuve kind of avoids it. So you notice all the Harkonnens have bright red hair. That's how they're described in the books. However, part of the problem of the visual medium is that when you see someone then who has red hair, you start thinking, hey, I wonder if they're related. Which is exactly what you would do if, for example, in this interpretation, they showed the Lady Jessica as having the same color hair as these guys do. So instead, what Denis Villeneuve does is he has all of the Harkonnens be bald so that you don't visually see
what their hair is.
The hair color, right?
And they're much more vampiric in that version too, I think.
Yeah.
I cannot watch this guy. He's so disgusting.
I know. Kenneth McMillan. Great character actor.
Yeah.
He chews the scene in every scene in this movie he's in.
Yeah, he really threw himself into this.
So here's another thing that's a great interpretation. The suspensor belt that he wears. In the book, he doesn't float around the room like this. It's just to lighten him because he's so fat he can't, support his own weight. But I do like this interpretation. It is interesting.
Dude, if you keep doing this, you're going to run out of Twinks.
Yeah. Yeah, if Jack Nance looks nervous, you know things are getting bad.
And this movie was PG-13. How exactly?
Well, yeah, exactly.
The PG-13 or PG?
No, it was PG-13.
No, it was PG-13, yeah.
Okay.
It was one of the first PG-13
Oh, I see.
movies, yeah.
Oh.
This Under the Cherry Moon prequel is weird.
So it is true from the book lore that Bene Gesserit have abilities, conscious ability to control things like the gender of their child, when and if they conceive, and so forth. That's why the Reverend Mother is so disdainful of her for having Paul. She chose to have a son to appease her husband.
Yeah, she did one of those things like, quiet, sweetie, I'm concentrating on a dress size.
Something like that. Yes, exactly. Mikey says you would have been a better narrator than Virginia Madsen. It would have been close. It would have been close.
Spoiler in the chat.
Yeah.
Good night, Mikey. Have fun at the Ethnic Gorilla Show.
Yep. Take care. What, the fact that Jessica taught him the voice? That in the book they established that very early in the story.
I was reacting to what Nate said about I shouldn't have eaten dinner before watching
Oh yeah,
the movie.
exactly.
Yeah,
Because that scene is so disgusting. I won't watch any scene that he appears in just because it's so gross.
It's nice to know they still have pugs 10,000 years from now.
Pugs.
yeah, the doggy.
I'm sorry, I don't like yip yip dogs.
Why are we flying into the grandfather clock? So we can go
Yeah,
to Narnia,
exactly.
dear.
Very interesting stylistic choices, but you know, I think they're pretty valid.
Dude, get a real dog. Like, a German
Eh,
Shepherd or a Doberman.
Oh, come
Pugs
on.
are cute.
It's actually a surprise. I actually don't remember that. That's probably an addition for the movie. I don't believe they had any pets in the book because that's kind of a big deal. You're going to a desert planet where water is a premium. You don't want extra, consumption of water. Pugs are actually the superior intelligence of the day. That could be. You're absolutely right.
My favorite breed is Beagle. They're actually a hunting dog. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. They fly biplanes very well, too.
Well, yes.
Goes without saying.
I want to say hi to Jedi Master 2022's Lost in Space and Classic Sci-Fi. Whew, that's a mouthful.
Wow. There you go.
I'm just going to call you Jedi in the chat to say hi, sweetie. And FKHC 2005, also known as Tim.
So, one thing that, one rumor that Nerd Cookies has heard is that there is going to be more than one guild steersman on a ship, which doesn't make a lot of sense from the point of view of the lore of the books. So she's interested to see how that works. My theory is that they're going to do something like a Minority Report kind of thing. Like you have 3 guild steersmen predict a path, and if one of them disagrees, they have to do a secondary analysis or something like that. I don't know.
Is that going to be in Dune Messiah or in the series?
That was the inference, yeah.
Okay.
And she's saying she hopes that it is in Dune Messiah before they get around to it in the TV show.
The prophecy
The desert
theme.
is surgeon, cutting away the skin to expose what is underneath. A Fremen saying. Book 2, Dune. This actually is the way the book is divided.
Yeah. It is. Just one of the things I like about this version. And the only part of the edit with the oil paintings that survives in this version is this little bit here.
Yeah.
They have a dog and everything.
They're probably thinking that's dinner, right?
I think I'll miss it. The Bicentennial Man sequel is weird.
Curtis says the Fremen prevail through superior Viewmaster technology.
Well, that goes without saying. And welcome, Connie Cleary. Don't worry, we understand. Family comes
first. We understand.
We are watching the Spicediver edit of Dune. The Atreides have just landed on Arrakis, so you're here just in time.
I do like the idea of you develop anti-grav technology and you use it to make lamps move around the room and follow you.
Interesting.
Does seem kind of ostentatious.
Yes.
Can you ever not be creepy? Which
I know.
one? Oh, all of them. Okay.
Yeah.
He was a child actor, Dean Stockwell. I'm kind of surprised that he lasted as long as he did.
I
Must have
know,
had
yeah.
decent people around him, you know?
Linda Hunt is the shut out Mapes.
Mm-hmm.
She's absolutely one of my favorite characters in the movie.
Yes.
Well, does she do a lot of horror films? As like some creepy character?
I don't.
She was
She
in
could.
no, not always. I mean, she was in the Relic. Remember the Relic with
Yeah,
really, yeah. I remember first seeing her, of course, in the movie she won the Oscar for, Year of Living Dangerously, and she played a man.
Yeah.
Huh.
And everybody thought they just got like some little Filipino guy to be in the movie, but nope, it was her.
Huh.
Very convincing.
Is that Ziggy?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Next time, just text me.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Housekeeper. Mm-hmm. Well, as long as we're all on the same page.
Mm.
Would you two like us to leave?
Yeah, I know, right?
Precious.
You should maybe pluck those eyebrows a bit.
Yeah, I know.
Two for, thank God, some sanity.
Mm.
And then there's a guy who turns into a caterpillar later, but we'll skip that part right
exactly. Yep, it's already happened. This is the pure stuff.
Don't bogart that spice, man.
Yeah, I know, right? Basically cinnamon flavored taffy.
What?
Well, melange is described as tasting something like cinnamon. Tasting and smelling something like cinnamon.
Do you like the droplets?
Yeah. I really like that imagery too. The open hand and the sleeper must awaken. It makes me think of the Tomorrow People, a British sci-fi
Oh,
series.
yeah. I thought the open hand was a callback to his hand being stuck in the box.
I hadn't considered that. You might be right.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
But as in the Tomorrow People, the idea of the opening hand is symbolic of the opening mind.
Right.
Exactly, Nate. You got any more of that spice? So the Seeker. An
We now
assassin's weapon.
We now return to the haunting of Cassie Palmer, already in progress.
There you go.
Came on after the Tomorrow People. Yeah. Anyway.
The Haunting of Cassie Palmer.
Yeah, I watched a lot of Nickelodeon in the afternoon.
Oh, thank you so much, Ruby Hoof. And guess who just received a gift membership? Wilkie's Movies and Music.
All
That's
right,
awesome. Thank you so much, Ruby. Ruby, how's your sister doing?
Yes. How is she doing?
And are you still with her?
And hello, Black Fatigue Kevin.
Maybe Duncan is living in his own private Idaho. Yeah, I've made that joke myself.
Yeah, criminy.
That's what I think it is.
This is the attack. We haven't found shit.
I like that line.
That is, of course, from Spaceballs. The person that says that line is Tim Russ from Star Trek Voyager. Every version of Duke Leto that I've ever seen knows how to, in some way, get across what a respectable leader he is.
Yes.
And why he commands the loyalty and confidence of his men.
We had Oscar Isaac playing him in the Villeneuve version. I believe he's playing Baron Frankenstein in the new Frankenstein.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the cemetery scene in the Villeneuve version is probably my favorite scene in the whole movie.
She's home and doing good. I go home tomorrow. Okay.
Oh,
good.
good
I'm
to
glad to hear that. Oh, Ruby, you didn't have to drop a $5 super chat to tell us that, but thank you so much. again, the technology, like that device that's next to Thufir there, I like how it looks. It looks ancient. It looks like something you would see in the Victorian era, you know,
Interesting.
which I think kind of goes along with this whole idea of if you can't have computers, you can't have electronic thinking machines. You've trained people to be able to do those kinds of tasks. There is kind of a pulling back on certain kinds of technology, like an analog, an advanced analog technology.
Jawohl.
Now, of course, the actor has a fairly thick accent, which in terms of the story, you're kind of going, what accent does he have, and why does he have an accent that's different from everyone else, you know, in his entourage, including his family?
Huh.
Doesn't matter because he's a great actor. Good night, Ruby. Thank you so much for stopping by. You take care and be safe going home tomorrow.
What?
Okay.
He's a wild ass.
They laughed. Okay.
Yeah. He doesn't look like a black woman.
Uh, yeah, they did some changes.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so.
They're a little jumpy, aren't they?
Well, I can understand that. They're trying to protect their Duke.
So the Atreides are so badass they have a knight who played chess with death working for him. Yeah.
It seemed the proper way.
He knows their ways as if born to them.
Nothing like old school effects, huh?
Yep.
I've ever heard someone say, old effects look fake but feel real. New effects look real but feel fake.
Yeah, I guess so. The Atreides are so badass. They have a knight who played chess with death working for them.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
No.
They put it on their salads.
Thank you. Well, the Fremen know. This is also, I think, one of the most important scenes in getting across, the who the Duke is, So there you go, David Lynch.
Yep.
Oh, the voice was David Lynch?
No, they just showed him on. They showed the
said-
person talking,
yeah.
Oh.
but yes, his voice as well. There he is.
There he is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Give me my sonic screwdriver so I could talk into it.
Uh-huh.
You see that reaction? He's like, "Wait, what?"
Because he cares about his people.
And this is the one thing I didn't care for. I don't like the design of the ornithopters because they're nothing of the kind. The depiction of them in the Denis Villeneuve version is far superior. So I know I said I wasn't going to talk much about the toys, but one of the toys was a spice harvester, which was not in scale with the figures, and neither was in scale with the sandworm that they put out.
Won't it make my brown eyes blue?
It will, exactly. But here's the other thing. He's smelling his hands, unrefined spice. Basically worm poop.
Well, guano's a big thing even today, right?
Yeah, right. Curtis, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want.
Can he talk to the worms?
Kind of, yes.
Then you should tell him, go away.
Yeah, well, he can't yet. He will be able to eventually.
I mean, I know he can ride them.
Look at that, huh?
Look, practical effect. This is actually really good.
It's a worm. You gonna make the worm pay?
No, the Harkonnens that interrupted they sabotaged this dig so that they weren't going to get the necessary warning. They didn't get the necessary warning. If the Duke hadn't been there, he wouldn't have saved those men.
It's a fire NATO.
Right. Hello, Maria. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you.
My
Ah,
sister.
I'm making nums, but wanted to say hello to you all. Well, good.
Give the kitties pets for me. And scritches under their chins.
Boy, Picard knows how to jam.
Well, in Star Trek, he could play the flute.
That's right. The View with Drew. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. I mean, he really does rock. They very much truncated the scene. The Denis Villeneuve version, kind of goes into more detail with the traditions and the understanding and whatnot.
Was looking at my screen at the chat, and I hear the water. I'm like, is he peeing on the floor?
And he recognizes this as one of his visions. John, you're right. That does kind of is kind of reminiscent of Spock playing the Vulcan lyre.
Hmm.
You okay there, Pops?
He's very concerned about his son's safety.
What are they?
I'm trying to indirectly tell my son I love him. Could you give me a few minutes?
Yeah, exactly. For the father, nothing.
The bad guys. Am I wrong?
Nope, you are spot on.
This V prequel is weird.
Are there any good Harkonnens?
No.
Dead ones.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
The Lady Jessica.
Yeah, technically, yeah. Huh.
So why can't he marry her?
Because he believed that he could combine two houses by marrying into another one. As you know, royalty tends to do. A thousand deaths are not enough for you.
Yeah, we're getting to that.
Man. Yeah, I know. Like
And you
I
wonder
said,
why I don't like going to the dentist.
yeah. I
Uh-huh.
was just at the dentist yesterday and just imagining that.
The truth?
The truth will set you free.
Maria says, I love you, sister. Netters Network.
Mm.
Love you too, sweetie.
You'll be a dentist. You'll have a talent for causing things pain. Well, he told you he did. Oh, no, it wasn't you that he told. Sorry, never mind. You had to find out for yourself. Kaboom! Big bada boom. So this is interesting. You'll notice that the Sardaukar, which are the elite forces of the Emperor, were transported by guild ships because that's the only way that you can travel through intergalactic space. So you kind of realize that, you know, all of these big organizations all have to kind of work together. So when and that's all we've got for tonight.
What?
We'll pick this up again next week.
Just
Yeah,
getting good. Okay.
I told you we were gonna have what?
Can you make that picture go away?
Oh, the dentist picture? Yeah, I'll take that down. Wait a minute.
No, just scroll up or something so it's no longer on the screen.
I'll add a GIF. Or,
Right,
yes.
There you go. Yeah, so the next scene, of course, is Jessica and Paul, of course, being taken and ostensibly rescued and saved by Yui because they're given still suits, but they're still going to have to effectuate their own rescue. And then, of course, Leto being taken to the Baron Harkonnen, and this is literally the first half of the Spicediver edit. How we doing so far? Everyone enjoying it?
I'm enjoying it a lot.
Yeah.
I think the Sardaukar are supposed to be spiffy space Mamelukes. Yeah, kind of, pretty much. But yeah. If you have not already, maybe think about subbing to my new channel, please. Nothing to see here, citizen. Exactly right. We're trying to get Curtis up to the magic number so that we can get him monetized because YouTube has snubbed his original channel. So we need to get him going. And Curtis, I'm going to strongly encourage you that you start, if you don't already have one, start a Rumble channel and start backing up your stuff from both channels to it. That would be a smart thing to do. Diversify.
Diversify.
So you guys see where we're going with this. You've got a lot of, obviously this is directed by David Lynch. We've pointed out some of the visual and ambiance tropes of David Lynch. A lot of the actors that tend to appear in David Lynch productions here. Between this and Blue Velvet, then Kyle MacLachlan goes on to Twin Peaks. So there you go. And somewhere in the background is always Jack Nance.
Yes.
Because of course. Oh, with
Yes.
this, yeah, and there's a new documentary about Jack Nance apparently in the works.
Yep.
Yes.
In fact, we have
Obnoxious
we
and
have a link
obnoxious to talk about. Want me to
We
paste it?
learned about this shortly before coming on the air. Apparently, there is our friend Cameron, Obnoxious and Anonymous. He's been on the show previously with his Twin Peaks. I don't want to say fan film because I think it may as well be canon for as good as it is.
Yep.
Queen of Hearts has a video up on his channel at present where it seems that there is a Jack Nance documentary on the way.
Yeah.
And of course, there was a Catherine Coulson documentary earlier this year as well. So,
Cool.
is there? Yeah. Well, I'd show it. We'd probably get hit for it. I would think.
Right. Exactly.
So,
Exactly. So yeah, go check it out. We want to get the traffic over there anyway. So
we do.
So there we go.
All right. All right. So the Spicediver cut, which is of the fan, well, really the only. Is there another one? This is the only fan edit of Dune that I am familiar with.
I am sure there are others, but
this
people
seems
tend
to
to
be
make fan ed. Yeah, people tend to make fan edits to meet personal preferences. I think this one is the definitive attempt at a David Lynch director's cut, I think. And as he points out in his opening little scroll there, he says that he's done this a couple times, and he's come back to do more because he's gotten better with his own editing abilities and his understanding of mise en scene and so forth. So
I guess I did get French tonight because you said mise en scene.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
All right. Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, the theatrical edit is not something that I dislike in any way. It was my gateway into the world of Dune, but I do believe that this version is closer to what David Lynch intended than the kind of somewhat bastardized version that wound up in theaters.
Yeah, he was so dissatisfied with what actually ended up getting released that he wanted his name taken from it. He was disgusted. And I get it. He's very much an artist, and this one was being very studio controlled.
Yeah. Well, that's all I've got, and we do have a certain broadcast coming up. Troy.
Oh, yep. So right after this, if you stay right where you're at on most of our channels, we will be taking you over to my channel for Blake 7 Rewatch. We are on episode 5 of season 3, The Harvest of Kairos. So, yeah, hope you will come hang out with us. Actually, in about 15 minutes, but yeah, basically after we're done here.
Right, and if you stay on, if you are watching on my channel, I am in the process now of redirecting to Troy's broadcast.
Yep.
So save and done. All right. Netter.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sitting here eating
Okay.
you.
What do you have coming up?
Thursday, something's going to happen on my channel.
Yeah, not sure what.
Still haven't gotten confirmation from either of the two people that said they'd get back to me.
Yeah.
So if they don't, and they might be just like last minute repliers, because some people do that. If they don't, then it'll be me and Troy.
Yep.
But I am trying to set up a couple of different people for the upcoming week, so we should have some really nice guests coming up.
Yep.
Right.
And then let's see, Saturday is Retro Cinema. We'll be watching Frequency.
Yep.
So that'll be a lot of fun. And then I'm just guesting everywhere else.
Yes.
That's it for me.
Boomer.
Yes. This Friday I will be on with Big Al. I believe we're going to be doing a rewatch of the season 2 finale of Robin of Sherwood, and then we'll talk a bit about the series thus far afterwards. And then I'll be on Last Call with Troy Pacelli here, where he's going to have a special guest, but I'll let him talk more about that, or maybe he wants to keep it a surprise.
No. I want people to know James Reckert, who has done a lot of work behind the camera, but you might know him in front of the camera as the man hands of a specific episode of Seinfeld. We're going to talk with him a little bit about his experience on the show, his background with Jerry Seinfeld. It's more than just having been on that one particular episode, and what the lay of the land is, specifically Hollywood land these days, what his history in the entertainment industry has been like, and where he sees things going. It's going to be an interesting Friday night. I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. He's a great guy.
Then that'll lead us, of course, you already mentioned Saturday, and then Sunday, Geeky Geezers, where we have some interesting topics. Apparently another Sydney Sweeney produced movie coming out to Amazon.
The girl knows how to make money. I'm telling you.
She's going to be doing an adaptation of the video game Split Fiction, apparently. Also, apparently, this is a most recent story I found. David Zaslav is not getting his $52 million pay package. The Discovery shareholders vote, or at least they voted against it. They said no. So things are going on. Things are going well.
Tells you something, yeah.
So, yeah. Things are not going well in the entertainment industry, except for
maybe stockholders are maybe starting to want profit and are going to start demanding blood otherwise.
Oh, and EA executives' comments on fans of role-playing games. We'll talk about that as well. Okay, we'll probably more stuff by the time we get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, that brings things on over to me. Do want to remind everybody, earlier tonight, the Mystery Movie Night podcast, I was joined by Sin's Corner and Corey of Wilkie's Movies and Music for a review of The Life of Chuck. So please check that out. You can find that on my channel as well as Sin's. Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, Action Theater returns to its regular day and time as James Bond month begins, and we are going. And Outlaw Bill and I will be watching Moonraker.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Mm-hmm.
James Bond goes to space.
Yeah, and we'll clear up whether or not that Dolly Girl had braces on or not. So
I'm sorry, I remember that character. Yeah. Okay.
All right, and then later on that night, after Thursday things, will of course be coming attractions. My chance to touch base with my loyal subscribers and channel members as you find out what I'm going to be doing in the next week. including Western Cinema Presents, which will be Sunday at 4 p.m. And Bill and I, once again, returning to watch the third Gunsmoke made-for-TV movie entitled To the Last Man. So check that out. And of course, 8 o'clock will be Unscripted. And at 12:05, after Geeky Geezers is over, reserved seats, guest to be determined.
Cool.
And of course, join us right back here next week. Same bat time, same bat channel for part 2 of the Spicediver edit of Dune.
Cool.
Yep. So, any last words before we close it out?
Yes, like, share, subscribe, become a member. At the very least, hit the like button.
Yes. Comments are always welcome, even after the fact.
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
They like us. They really, really like
I
us.
hope so, yeah.
Mhm. We had over 40 people watching along with us at one time or another. So thank you all very much for being here, including those following along on X. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. And of course, some regulars here in the chat. Lady Mist, Curtis, Lizzie, Mark Mounikoff, Curtis Selby, Tim, and of course, Maria. And everybody who joined us here in the chat. It was good to have you all here tonight. Please rejoin us next week. Netter, would you like to close us out?
You guys are Osmo. You know that. I say that all the time. I want to thank you all so very much for being here, for encouraging us all so very much, and for encouraging each other in the chat. I said, you guys are Osmo. Thank you for being a part of our family. Thank you for the many ways that you support our channels. You know, we don't do this for us. We do this for you. So thank you again for being here. Stay tuned right here to be redirected to Troy's channel for Blake 7. And until next time, good night and God bless.
Thank you.
And as I say at the end of every show, from HQ, the corner of Sparkwood and 21, and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond, good night, take care, stay strong, be safe and healthy. Stay away from those Harkonnen guys. They're creepy.
Yes.
Because this is how we win.